Welcome to my first Kings of War tutorial, the 90-degree pivot charge. Kings of War is a superb war game with many tactical decisions to be made, but for the new player, certain mechanics can be quite surprising. It's essential to understand these to get the best results out of your gaming experience. The 90-degree pivot charge is the first you should get to know. Here is an example. It's the beginning of Red's turn, and they want to charge the blue unit to the left. You're thinking, no way. I included some numbers on the red unit. This is a large infantry horde, 120 millimeters wide by 80 millimeters deep. The black center line indicates the center front of the unit, as well as the middle point of the unit. Back to our charge. At the beginning of a unit's move, it may disengage 1 inch or 25 millimeters. I'll move the measuring ball and disengage the unit 1 inch. Please notice that the middle point of the unit is now 65 millimeters from the front of the blue unit. Also note that from the center point of the red unit to the corner is 60 millimeters. Some of you may already see what's coming. To declare a charge, 4 conditions must be met. First, is the target within charge distance? Yes, they're quite close. Is the target within the front charge arc? The 45-degree line from the corner indeed shows target is within the arc. Can the charger see or have a line of sight to a target? Line of sight is measured from the charger's center front to the target. Yes, indeed, there is line of sight. One frequent misunderstanding of line of sight is that it follows the 45-degree arc line. This is not true. Line of sight may not cross over the front facing of the charging unit like this. And finally, will the charging unit fit? Yes, it can, and would look like this after adjusting flush to the target. Visually, a charge looks implausible because of the proximity of the blue unit to the front. Remember, a charge can include one pivot up to 90 degrees. Let's start the pivot. Looks like the pivot's overlapping the blue unit. This should surely disallow the charge. However, the pivot rule says a unit can pivot through any enemy or impassable terrain as long as it completely clears it. Let's continue with the pivot. And now we see the unit clears and can charge the flank. The first time a pivot charge is experienced by a new player, it can be quite a shock. Compare this next example to the last. Here, a smaller version of a large infantry, a regiment, is in the same position. We'll disengage the unit. Notice the distance from the front of the blue unit to the middle point is only 45 millimeters. Also note from the center point to the corner is again 60 millimeters. Again, keep these numbers in mind. A quick check on charge eligibility checks out. Let's pivot. Looks like it doesn't clear the blue unit, hence the charge is disallowed. So what is the difference in these two examples? The horde's pivot on the left cleared by 5 millimeters, while the regiment's pivot on the right overlapped by 15 millimeters. Seems the depth of the two units is the difference. Remember these numbers? Pause the video, check it out. Do you see? A rule of thumb has been created so people don't have to meticulously check this throughout the game. If the base width exceeds the depth more than 50 millimeters, the 90-degree pivot charge is not allowed. The regiment on the right has 120 width to 40 depth. The difference is greater than 50 millimeters. No charge is allowed. The horde on the left has 120 width to 80 depth. The difference is less than 50 millimeters, so the charge is allowed. Brenton Williams, in his brilliant article, Inconceivable, a must-read for all players, created this chart, which summarizes which units can do the 90-degree pivot charge. Study this chart. Soon enough, you'll get to know which units can and can't pivot charge so you can get the most out of your Kings of War games.